I don't know if you've been watching my videos. There's this guy whose name is Kenny. Did you watch his bike? His video is a legend bike.
I can't recall.
Okay, so anyway, he has multiple bikes and he calls one of his steel bikes a fun bike.
Bring out all your fun bikes.
Yeah.
So the question is this what Kenny, who was the guy on my interview, calls a fun bike? Would you call this a fun bike?
Yes, this can be called a fun bike.
Okay. Welcome back to another video, guys. Today I am here with Mr. Chia, Jingyi. He has at first I thought this was a road bike until when I posted the Instagram Q&A, people pointed out things that are not normally on a road bike. For example, the fork bolts. I remember I filmed a gravel bike and he had all this and then we spoke about it. Anyway, we'll leave that to the Instagram Q&A. So Jingyi, thank you so much for coming over. I know you rode all the way from Woodlands. So this is a Carbonda CFR 696. I have no idea what it is. All I know is just a gravel bike. Could you please tell us more about yourself and what do you have over here for us?
Okay, I'm a rider who started, I think, seriously riding roughly around 2015. That's because I'm type 2 diabetic, and I decided to sort of get my health back in order. And I do like to go on anything with wheels. I drove a car before, and I kind of like driving, so I decided to go towards bicycles. And the journey has been quite nice because I've got to own several bicycles throughout this course since 2015, and the latest one I'm having in here is the Carbonda CFR 696. Yep.
It's a gravel bike, right?
Yes, it's a gravel bike. It's basically this company Carbonda. It makes this is a open mold frame for a lot of the bigger name bicycles out there. To name a few, we have the Tifosi Cavazzo, which is selling in the UK. The Obed Okoye, which is now called the Boundary, also uses this frame. If I'm not wrong, the Ridley Kanzo Adventure is somewhat like this frame, except it's a bit modified. It does not have the fork bolts, and its bottom bracket is actually press fit instead of this one. This is a BSA bottom bracket that it has. If I'm not wrong, the rest I mentioned has a BSA bottom bracket. If I'm not wrong, there are two more brands that actually use this open mold frame as their gravel bike in their gravel bike lineup. Yeah.
So when you mean open mold, just for the interest of my viewers who are new to cycling, so open mold, does it mean that this company makes frames for other companies? For other bike companies, is that how it works? Is that what open mold
doesn't
means?
really work that way. What they have is they have this design up. So usually the company would be not just an original equipment manufacturer, but also an original equipment designer, OED, what they call. So they would actually design the frame and got it up. And I think I won't call it putting up for sale, but it would attract attention of other bike manufacturers who would be interested in it and say, they say, oh, okay, I don't have a gravel bike in our lineup. Maybe we should have a gravel bike, and then let's see if we can get this company to get these frames for us, and we just slap our name onto it, and it becomes our gravel bike in our lineup.
So Carbonda, is it where is the country?
It's actually from China.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Why a gravel bike? Are you a road cyclist or is this the second bike?
Well, this is my third road bike. I am a road biker, and why a gravel bike? Well, if you look at the current lineup, I wanted basically to go back to my original bike that I own, which is basically you can call it an endurance bike. And if you look at the market now, most of the endurance bicycles, road bicycles, are actually becoming more road or more gravel-like. They're road bikes who are becoming more and more gravel-like. And they have what they call geometries that are called Road Plus, which means all road. And a gravel bike more or less is more gravel. Well, a Road Plus bike is gearing to or moving towards a gravel bike. I wanted to get back to an endurance bike, and I said, why choose an endurance bike? Let's just get ourselves a gravel bike. The geometry is still as relaxed. You got option of getting really fat tires. These are actually 38C Gravel Kings. I think they, after inflating up to the tire pressures here, it's roughly around 40 millimeters wide. Great comfort on the road. And I would say this bike, for lack of a better word, when someone asks me how does it feel, it kind of spoils you, all right? It spoils you on the road. It's very nice, it's very cushiony. I mean, not owing to the frame, but I think mainly to the tires that you spec it with, especially. Yeah.
What wheel sets are these?
Huh?
What wheel sets?
These are Fast Sports Kazes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's a gravel specific wheel set.
Not exactly. They're not gravel specific. The width of the internal width of these rims are actually 19 millimeter. Not gravel like to the extent that, let's say, for example, you can take. I mean, gravel would usually be 25s, if I'm not wrong. So it's not very gravel-like at the moment. But I have another set at home, which are 650Bs, which would fit on these. Those would fit even bigger tires, and I think that would be even more comfortable. But once these tires run out or wear out, I would use road-specific tires on it. Yeah.
That is strange that you're able to fit very wide tires and also road tires on these kind of wheels. Any issues with this?
Well, that's my
compatibility?
mechanic who did that. My mechanic, the ink mechanic, Alfred himself. He does wonderful jobs, especially on lob bikes. He fit these tires on my wheel set. I have the same. I mean, I don't have the same wheel set, but the other wheel set I have at home, I tried fixing them on. I could not. So one of these days, I most likely have to pay a visit to to Alfred to fit them on. Yeah.
How are the performance of these wheel sets?
Well, this wheel set is very comfortable, very cushiony. They don't go very fast. This bike is not meant to go very fast. The fastest I've been is mainly through descents, basically. So along Mandai, if I pedal down, okay, I can push it up to maybe 50 plus kilometers per hour. But on the straights, especially in a group, drafting behind a group, I think I can max out at maybe 32, 33. I think maybe it's the engine also. That's the other thing.
Yeah. Sorry, coming back to the frame, this is a very nice paint job.
Yeah.
How did you get this frame, and was this paint color customized, or is it their default color?
Yeah, it's customized. I actually ordered this frame set from Carbonda itself. There's this guy. I liaised with him, and I told him I like something similar to the Colnago Frozen series.
Yeah.
He could not get me the Frozen series, but he got me what I call a bamboo forest leaves kind of look. And this looked kind of nice. I said, kind of nice, so good. Let's keep it on. So I got it from them.
What is the price of the frame?
The frame itself is US dollars 988. Yeah, 988. That includes the of course the fork and the what else did he include?
Handlebar? Stem?
No, the handlebar is not. The handlebar is my own. I would say it includes the fork, and it came with their own seat post. But I decided to use my current seat post, which is the. I think a lot of viewers have actually seen it before. This is the CGR from Specialized.
The Ducky, I call it the Ducky seat post.
Yeah, Ducky seat post.
And also this Donald Duck seat post that you all like to call it. It's actually a CGR seat post.
I won't say it's effective because if you have, you can see his seat post height isn't that high. It's effective if your seat post height isn't that high. If you sit on it, I mean, if someone to see you, I can't really see it, but I've got people who see it. You can see flexing as it goes down. But for most riders, if you have a taller seat post, it's actually much more effective at suspension rather than this. So it's kind of cosmetic, I would say, right now.
What is the frame size and your height, and how did you determine on that this was the size for you?
Well, I had a bike fit before, so I sort of know the somewhat the sizes that I would fit on the range of bikes, and this is a 490 millimeter frame size. If I'm not wrong, it's actually the seat tube height, which is that's used to measure the frame size.
But isn't it usually the top tube length?
The top tube length features more for your reach, in a sense, and one of the reasons why I chose this frame size is also mainly because of the stack and the reach that I measured on, especially for my bike fit. Yeah.
So how tall are you?
I'm actually 165, close to 165 centimeters tall.
Okay. And moving on to group set, this just by the looks of it, of the RD, it says GRX, so I'm going to assume this is a complete Shimano GRX. Tell us more about the group set, and you have mixed components.
Yep. This is not a complete Shimano GRX. The front derailleur is, and the rear derailleur is a GRX. However, the controllers that you see here are the older ones. These are the STR785s. I got them at a bargain because most of them are selling that time. Now the prices have gone up. The time they're selling for 200 USD, including the brake calipers. All right, so this is the old version. All right, ST785s, but the brake calipers that came with it are actually post mount. So I had to source, and I went on Carousel and found myself R8050 brake calipers to go with it. So as long as it's 11 speed, it would work very well. So
these are the Shimano Ultegra.
yes, this is Shimano
brakes.
Ultegras.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the rotors, I'm using the RT70s. People say it's butt ugly, but
Which is the 105 or Tiagra rotors, right?
yes, that's right.
Okay.
So to me, it works. It works.
Right, right.
Yeah. And then because this controller is that 785 is actually Di2 capable, so which is the reason why I got it. My crank set, because I'm a short guy, I've tried using 165s before. It does give me some kind of pain. I used 160 millimeter cranks before. I find it very comfortable, and I like 5-arm cranks because of the. I think the main thing is that it's compatibility with a lot of chain rings that you can get. So for this reason, I got this BBK crank set, which is from this company from Australia called Kirowi. They specialize in what do you call it, junior racing. So this is basically a junior racing crank, and I got this and for the crank length. Unfortunately, it comes in what do you call it, GXP configuration. So I need to get a GXP bottom bracket for it, and then the chain rings from I bought it from eBay, and this company called Biking Green. And these are 3148s. Yeah, 3148T.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why your group set is made this way? Like, why did you buy individual parts from different places rather than just getting a complete GRX from a local shop?
Customization. I would say everyone is very different. Someone who at 165 centimeters tall and maybe with a inseam, my inseam is already 73, 74 centimeters, may not fit this bike, but this bike fits me. I'm a spinner. I like to spin on my cranks, and it's nice spinning with shorter cranks. Shorter cranks actually enable you to spin pretty fast. Another reason why I like to configure my bike this way is because I like a shorter reach. The handlebar I have is actually a specialized short reach, so the reach from the bar top towards the hoods is roughly 65 millimeters
the length
only.
over here, right?
Yeah, it's really short. The drop is really shorter as well.
Yeah.
So I think one of the main common complaints from a lot of people, if you observe a lot of riders out there, is that they tend not to use their drops a lot. And if you're to make your drops more accessible, as in don't be a pro. I mean the main thing is that don't configure your bike like a pro. You're not a pro. I was given this advice by my I'm a bike fitter. You're not a pro, so don't stop trying to configure your bike like a pro. So you configure in such a way it's comfortable, more easy, more accessible, especially all the contact points to your body, so that you could actually use everything on your handlebar fully. That includes the saddle as well. Don't go for a lightweight. Go for a nice, comfortable saddle. Have a nice setback, so they can, push yourself forward or backward whenever needed, and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about accessories. You have a lot of gadgets going on. Can you run us through this?
Yeah. At the moment, it has more sensors than a Bayraktar drone. So, I'm a rider who likes to ride alone. And I'm also a very pre-dawn rider, as in I set out roughly around 4 a.m. in the morning, especially for weekdays. One of the reasons I do that is because I hate the traffic. And as this heat is showing right now and looking at my face, you will know that I don't like the heat a lot.
I'm sorry for that.
Okay, so the accessories I have on my bike are mainly geared towards safety and also, in a sense, both passive and active. So in the rear, you would see that I have the Garmin rear light, which is a radar as well. So that's my active sensor that tells me how many cars are behind.
It's a proximity sensor, right?
Yes, that's right. So it tells me all that. It's a great game changer, especially when you want to change lanes. You will see how many cars are behind. The only thing you need to do is to turn your head to take a look around to see if there's another car coming up before you change your lane. I have a camera, the rear camera. This is Cyclic Fly 6. The front is my Fly 12. That's the look in the front. If cars have dash cams, why not bicycles, especially when you're on the road? It can be very helpful, especially when it comes to certain situations. At the same time, who knows, you may be asked to submit evidence for whatever you've seen on the road, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got another front light in front of me, in front as well, because the Fly 12, the light doesn't last very long. I think at most maybe 4 hours. All right, the extra light I have in front would enable it to not use the light for the Fly 12 and have me run for maybe 6 hours at most. And then of course I have my head unit up there.
What is the weight of the bike?
The bike's weight, empty without the accessories and water bottles, is roughly around 9.2 kilograms.
For a gravel bike, is that considered heavy or light?
Good question. I never considered weight as an issue for any bike. It's kind of funny, on my road bike, I seem to top out nearly the same speeds as this bike as well.
Yeah.
So I think mainly it's all down to gearing, especially if you come to talk about weight, and a lot of people say whether it's easier to climb or not. I would say what's more important is your gearing. So this gearing here is a 4831. And I would say it can conquer any climb quite easily.
It's a huge cassette as well.
Yeah, and a huge cassette. That's a 1136 from SRAM as well. Yeah.
Right. What do you not like about this bike?
What do I not like about this bike?
Yeah. If there's nothing, there's nothing.
Well, it's a very versatile bike. When I got this, I had the intention that, if I need to, and I usually make cycling trips with some close riding guys to Malaysia. This bike is, I would say, I run it over potholes and broken gravel. This bike, like I said, it spoils you. All right. What I don't like about it is that maybe right now I've not been able to utilize it fully for what it is for, as in gravel roads. The only time I tried gravel, or rather gravel-like situation, would be in Coney Island, some sections of the rail corridor. But there's a speed limit to it. There's a speed limit to those areas. So I've not been able to maximize the versatility of this bike. And that's one thing I didn't like about the current situation with it right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay guys, we'll move on to the Instagram Q&A. you guys want to ask your questions, you can follow me on Instagram and you get a chance to submit your questions. So this is the thing about my followers on Instagram. They can pick the smallest thing which I don't even realize. So the first question is actually, why is there a bottle cage at the bottom?
Why is there?
Why is there a third bottle?
When I go out for longer rides, especially to Malaysia and whatever, I'll be carrying 2 water bottles. The bottle cage at the bottom, I will fit my 2 bidon. So it holds everything I need. I just slot it right underneath there. So I still have the use of 2 water bottles, full water bottles, as in 800 ml water bottles. So whole system made to go long.
On that point, then why don't you just store racks, since you have access to storing racks?
Accessories. That means buying more accessories, and that bottle cage actually came with the frame. So I said, well, why not use it?
Yeah, but I mean, you fully utilize the bike as a gravel bike because you have bolts here.
Yeah, that's right. But but going up, let's say for a long ride, let's say I'm going up to Malaysia, okay, it's still not an all-out adventure in the sense that I'll be going out camping and going out to hotels and whatever. So there's not necessarily anything for me to add on as in, maybe the most is maybe a handlebar bag, and that's all, you know.
Right.
So yeah.
Sounds that you use this bike primarily for road cycling now.
Yeah.
Do you feel that this bike is not capable of keeping up to speeds with a road bike?
Is not capable. So what is the speed of an average road bike on the road? So that's yeah.
Let's say 30.
30, okay. It could keep up at 30. All right. If you want to race with this, I guess it has to go into a gravel race rather than a road race. Yeah.
Okay. Next question is, how do you feel about the mounting points of the frame? Is it faced nicely?
Is it?
Faced.
Faced nicely.
Yeah.
It is actually faced rather nicely. But one thing I can say about the mounting points, let's say for example the top tube bag mounting point, because I'm a rather short person and this frame is rather small, and most of the top tube bags are actually quite huge. Okay, so when you dismount from your bike, as in you just come forward a bit, well, your nuts will get onto the bag.
Right.
So which explains why I don't use the top tube bag for it. I have a handlebar bag. I also have those funny water bottle bags where you mount on the stem, which I dump a lot of food in it, sometimes, and just keep eating from that. Other than that, I don't actually use much of. That's why I don't use much of the points now, because and that's one of the main points I say. I've not maximized the whole bike's versatility at the moment. Yeah.
Right. Does the gold chain make a difference compared to a normal chain?
Doesn't make a difference, but it just looks damn good.
What chain is this? Is it a KMC?
No, this is a YBN.
Okay.
It's a YBN.
So you bought it because of aesthetics then?
Yeah, it's aesthetics. Any bike, you look at any bike with a gold chain, it looks damn good,
I haven't seen many bikes here in Singapore with gold chains.
Yeah, and this chain is actually waxed, so the gold actually comes out. If we use the normal loop,
It'd be black.
It'll be black. So for a wax chain, gold chain looks definitely better.
A lot of people are mentioning that they mistaken this bike for a TCR or the Polygon Stratos S7. Have you gotten people commenting and asking you what bike is this?
There was one time they've mistaken this for a Giant or some kind. They've asked me about it before, but that was only one time when I first. I won't say one of the first few months I got this bike. Yeah.
These are the Far Sports Case wheels.
Kaze wheels.
Kaze, it's a China brand.
That's right.
The question is, how much do you pay for this?
And
where do you get it from?
I bought it directly from Far Sports directly. So that time, that was last year. I was fortunate enough to get it for 780 USD, if I'm not wrong. Yep.
Have you tried fixing panniers on the mounting bolts on the frame or fork? He's wondering if it is as strong as an aluminium frame.
I've not tried it yet, but from what I know, someone I know actually fit a tail fin on it.
What's a tail fin?
A tail fin is a carbon fiber rack, rear rack.
Okay.
You can actually go onto the website tailfin.cc and see it. It's kind of expensive, but it's very cool looking, and I know someone who has actually done that before. Not used metal racks on it, but this being a carbon frame, and that I've spent this much on it, if I wanted a rack on it, I would definitely get a tail fin.
Right. I don't know if you've been watching my videos. There's this guy whose name is Kenny. Did you watch his bike? His video is a legend bike.
I can't recall.
Okay, so anyway, he has multiple bikes, and he calls one of his steel bikes a fun bike.
Bring out all your fun bikes.
Yeah.
So the question is this what Kenny, who was the guy on my interview, calls a fun bike? Would you call this a fun bike?
Yes, this can be called a fun bike. It can be used, like say, riding around in party pace. That's borrowing the term from Path Less Pedaled. All right, party pace. You can use this bike for gravel racing because the geometry is actually a bit more aggressive than your typical gravel bikes. It's more like a road endurance. So you can use this as a gravel race bike. You can use this as your commuting bike. So it is a very fun bike.
Last question before we wrap up, before we all get burned under the sun is, you were telling me these tires, you run 28 PSI?
The rear here is roughly around 28 PSI. The front is 27. These are Gravel Kings at 38 millimeters. So these are 700cc tires. They're tubeless. They're set up as tubeless. Very comfortable. And I've checked out, from my calculations, if I were to ride 28s on this, or maybe 32s, I would most likely use maybe 55 PSI already or so, and as tubeless tires, yeah.
Just touching this, it feels like a balloon. How low can the pressure go? Because if people have been watching my videos, I always say that I run my PSI extremely high because it's a clincher, so I run 110 PSI.
Okay.
So how low can you run these tires?
There was one time I didn't top up air into it. I was riding around a bit, and I came back, I think it was over a span of 2 weeks. And then I checked the tire pressure. It was roughly around 21. It was still pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. I think one thing about tire pressures is it's a very dark art behind it, and I think a lot of people are realizing that lower is actually good. High, what happens is that not all your roads are smooth tarmac. I mean, this bike I've sort of, I won't call it designed, but actually set it up for really bad roads. As in, if you ride up to Malaysia, into Johor or whatever, and all that kind of stuff, you have broken tarmac. You have even sections whereby you have the, like your, what do you call it, the service roads within some HDB estates whereby they use tiles, those brick tiles, and they're semi like cobbles, and this bike is sort of designed to take on those kind of roads. You don't get beat up by it. You just blow right through these roads.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea.
That's the end of the interview. Any last things that I missed that you would like to talk about?
Nothing. Just run the condition, guys. Design your own bike that fits you, and carry on riding as much as you can.
Thank you so much, Jingy, for the interview today, and thanks for bringing the bike. If you guys want to feature your bike on my channel, just DM me on Instagram, follow me on Discord, Instagram, TikTok, and the replays are available on Spotify. So thanks again, Jingy.